You can smoke in the nurseries in Germany. Right, like right on the baby, you can blow the smoke. I grew up in Berlin, and from a very young age, I was clubbing. I was a club kid, kind of like in the movie Schwing Kids, that was before World War II in Hamburg. Only this was Berlin. It was crazy back then. It was it was after Hitler and disco, and people were wearing the elephant costumes and the monkey suits, making the pink sweat. The man would come in with the chicken head suit, stage dive without the stage. The moves we did. I was a love child, a Lebenskind, we called them in Germany. Do you have this phrase in America? In the late 60s, there was a lot of, playing around. This was before, a lot of the diseases, or at least, there were diseases, but nobody, knew or cared about them. My mother, she was a lively woman, and she was a club kid too, like me. But I never knew my father. I never knew who he was. But then something very strange happened to me. I've had suspicions of who my father is, Karl Lagerfeld. And why I have this suspicion is I was in my club Gulag one day, and this man comes in with a ponytail, and he comes straight up to me, and looks over his glasses at me just like that. He looked right in my face, and he said, "I just wanted to make sure you're okay." And then he was out. He left the club with his entourage, and I thought that was rather strange. I mean, why would he do that? And being that I was a Lebenskind, I thought maybe this is him, and I've always, even from when I was like 7, I had this interest in design and fashion, and I didn't know why, because my mother was not interested in this, none of my friends were, and Berlin is not exactly the fashion capital of the world, so especially with the East Berliners and all their weird, like Eastern Bloc clothing, like the women in the boxy dresses and with the patterns and the napkins. There seems to be a lot of cicadas and airplanes and everything, but this is life in the big city, I love the clothing, the styles, the catwalk, the cameras exploding when the ladies walk out, strange like bear suits or t-shirts. I'm very much into the informal. See, I think the 21st century we're going to go into a whole new direction, and it's going to be very casual. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the century people weren't wearing clothes, which would put the whole fashion thing kind of out of business. But I think that's the direction it's going, because we're going towards animal, slowly. We're slowly evolving or devolving, depending on how you look at it, into our, natural form. In all my clubbing days, I always had this burning desire to get into fashion. And then knowing that Karl Lagerfeld is my father, which is what I think, it means that it's in my blood. So I do a little designing on the side.